Let's cut to it. Anno 117 is a city builder about turning vibes into supply chains and then weaponizing those chains to make your empire sing. When it clicks, it's intoxicating. When it doesn't, you'll be staring at a busy UI asking why your eel fishery hates you. The tension between those two outcomes is the whole ride. You start in sun-soaked Latium, laying out streets where prestige buildings nudge your citizens up the social ladder while charcoal burners quietly tank resale value. That class clustering isn't just pretty, it's systemic. Paved roads push influence farther. Housing tiers unlock demands that spider across islands. And down at the docks, the real game starts: logistics. You'll set up trade routes where one island makes cheese, another mills flour, and a third just exists to warehouse the overflow, so a convoy can grab everything in one efficient sweep. It's economic plate spinning. But with satisfying heft, you can literally watch a ship carrying the bottleneck item and reroute it mid-run. If you like watching cogs mesh, this is your aquarium. Combat is not a throwaway here. The naval side is deliberate and weighty. Oars versus sails actually matters, flanking and kiting actually works, and pirates will happily farm your laziness. Land battles are competent, rock paper scissors affairs that won't convert Total War diehards, but won't embarrass themselves either. The best part is how it all feeds back into trade. Protect the routes, protect the loop. That loop is where Anno 117 earns its keep. Then Albion opens up and things get interesting. The biomes aren't just palette swaps. Foggy, rocky Britain asks you to decide how far you'll push Romanization. Stick with Celtic traditions for certain buildings and bonuses, or go full Rome for different efficiencies. The twist is that this isn't just flavor. Combine culture choices with the belief system. Yes, you're picking patron gods and building up faith as a resource, and you can create nasty synergies. Choose a deity, stack the right structures, and suddenly your agricultural or civic output spikes in a way that reshapes your whole network. It's crunchy and it rewards experimenting instead of min-maxing a wiki-approved route. Now let's talk friction, because critics split for honest reasons. The campaign? It's an extended on-ramp with a cheeky storyline that wraps in under 10 hours. Fun tonal beats. One route is basically Weekend at the Governor's, but the real game lives in Endless. That's where difficulty sliders, rival governors, and custom starts let you build your Roman sandbox and lose a weekend without noticing. The campaign's greatest trick is letting you roll your save forward, so the training wheels fall off and the economy shakes you by the shoulders. The UI discourse is real. There's a lot on screen, and some important chains are tucked into sub-menus that make early hours feel like flipping through a binder. You'll have a moment where a building complains about not being in marshland, only to discover it wanted you to place its sub-modules manually like fields. It's consistent once you learn the quirks, but it's not intuitive. Add constant notifications and side request pop-ups, and yeah, the first few sessions feel like being shouted at while juggling olives. If you bounce off complexity, this will push you. If you surf it, it's part of the high. Systems-wise, Rome giveth and Rome taketh. Bad trade shocks can cascade into classic Anno death spirals. Food falters, population drops, production stalls, and you're stuck wondering if changing your city's patron deity was worth the buff you just lost. The counterplay, smart buy orders, way stations, and priority routes works, but this is not a cozy builder. It's a logistics sim in a laurel crown. Diplomacy is similarly sharp. You can't schmooze the emperor so much as appease or defy him, and both paths pay off with big perks if you commit. It's a neat risk-reward axis that sits outside the usual trade and war pendulum. Performance and platforms quickly. On PC, it's stunning and hungry. Gorgeous detail, postcard zooms worth the pause button, and demanding enough that weaker rigs will be dialing settings down. On current-gen consoles, expect a solid experience with fewer knobs to turn. The art direction survives the translation, and the naval battles still feel good. If you live for photo mode perfect forums at 4K with a million citizens bustling, feed your GPU before feeding Rome. Where the reviewers converge, cities look fantastic, trade is the star, naval combat's a surprise joy, religion and culture choices add welcome spice, and the campaign is a tutorial you'll clear and likely never revisit. where they clash. Some love the maximalist UI as a sign of depth, others call it noise. Some shrug at land battles, others say they're finally real. RTS fights and the difficulty curve can feel like a cliff until the economics click. Veteran games take. Anno 117 doesn't revolutionize the genre, it perfects its niche. It's a logistics playground wrapped in one of the most evocative historical skins we've seen, with enough mechanical levers to keep the late game interesting instead of autopilot. If you crave a relaxed decorative builder, steer elsewhere. If you want a system that rewards planning, punishes slop, and occasionally makes you laugh at the stupidity of losing a metropolis because you swapped a god, welcome home. Practical play notes before we pay the algorithm tax. Build specialized islands early. Don't try to make every rock self-sufficient. Use mid-map depots to shorten legs and batch exports. Overproduce the boring stuff, charcoal, flour, rope, so luxuries don't stall. Treat your navy like insurance, not a vanity project. In Albion, test hybrid builds before committing. Sometimes blending traditions plus the right patron beats full Romanization. And when the UI gets loud, pause, breathe, and work the checklists from need to chain to root. The noise fades as muscle memory takes over. If this kind of no BS deep dive is your jam, hitch a ride with Veteran Game and hit subscribe. If you're nodding or fuming, drop a like, so this take doesn't get sacked like a provincial capital. Final spark for the comments. Should city builders embrace maximalist UIs in the name of depth, or is it time to standardize cleaner interfaces, even if it means hiding some of the machine?